Good morning. The foundation's done. It is time to build the beams that'll support the cabin. So from my previous video, I did correct my cinder blocks. I had some of them turned on their side rather than straight up and down. And I know how cinder blocks work. I've built cinder block walls. I know the holes that go up. You put rebar down them, you fill them with concrete. But there was a reason I had them turned on their side. So there used to be a mobile home that used to sit on this property that I tore down last year. And then there's like this pile of 100 cinder blocks in the woods over there. So I figured might as well use them rather than buying new cinder blocks. That seemed kind of silly. But with all these old ones, when you look at them, there's like concrete on the top side, the way they would normally face. All of them are like this. So I just turn them on their side like that. And the mobile home that I tore down, a lot of them were faced this way too. I figured they would be just fine. But when you look at the strength of a cinder block, it's greatly reduced having them on their side. I'm sure they still would have worked out fine, but they are much stronger turned upside. So the ones that I had on their side, I did correct those. You know, some engineer who's a lot smarter than me designed them to be used that way, so might as well use them the way they were intended. So at this point, all of our pads are all level with each other. They're all spaced evenly. So we're level and we're square. So we are ready to start framing. What I'm gonna do first before I build my beams and set them on these pads is I'm gonna go around and put one more treated board on top of all the pads. That'll keep us all level, because some of them don't have treated boards on top, but they're all level right now. So if I just go around and put one more piece on top, they will remain level, and then my beams aren't sitting directly on the concrete. Which the beams are treated lumber too, but I just assume not have the beams that are going to hold up the entire cabin sitting directly on the concrete. I'd rather use, shims underneath those, and then if those ever show any sign of rot way down the line, I can just replace that and I'm not rotting my beam. So I'm going to start by laying out my boards, and I'm building these beams out of dimensional lumber. They're treated. So I have a combination of 8-footers and 16-footers, and the way I'll build it, I'll make sure that anywhere there's a seam where the boards meet, they land right on one of these pads. So each beam will be 40 foot long. So I got some boards laid out here, the full length. So I'll just lay them flat, build the beam on top of the pads like this, so I got a nice level surface to work with. And then once I'm done nailing them all together, I'll flip it up. All right, beam number 1 is built. Now I just got to stand it up on end, so we'll see how that goes. All right, looking good. It's resting on all the pads evenly. It's placed right down the center of all of them. Anywhere I have seams, they land on a pad, which is what I want. Let's go ahead and build another one. Yeah, this treated lumber, it's not, no board is like completely straight. So I kind of have to start at an end, tack it down, go to the middle, tack that down so it's flush with the board below it, and then do the same thing on the end, and then finish nailing the rest of it once it's lined up. Because I kind of need all these to be flush and straight. And then once I'm done tacking these all together, I'll go along and pole barn nail them as well. All right, so far, we're dead on both beams this way. And then I'm just using this board because this is how my floor joist will sit as well. And we're dead on there, so feeling happy about that. We'll get this third beam built. I'll double, triple check it, make sure my beams are all sitting square, make sure we're level both ways, you know, long ways and sideways. So I'll verify that, and then we're ready for floor joists. Because yeah, taking the time to make sure that this is all right is everything, because then you can just fly now. Because if my beams are all square, you know, I'm exactly 16 foot wide by 40 foot long, which is how big the cabin will be, and I'm sitting level, you know, now I can just lay out my floor joist and go. And I know I'm good, I know I'm square, I know I'm level. So that means the rest of the cabin will be square and level too. Well, there we go. 3 beams in place, ready for floor joists. It's kind of a treat to be working in nice weather like this. Last time I built the cabin, it was below 0, so I could only have my hands out of my gloves for like a couple minutes before I had to warm them back up. I'll measure each one and make sure it's exactly 40 foot long, and then I'll cut it with the chainsaw. So these boards, you know, they're a mix of 8 footers and 16 footers, you know, but some of them are like an 1/8 inch off or whatever. So you can see I'm like 40 foot, 1 3/4 inches or so. So I got an 8 foot board here. I'll just check it, you know, every so often on here, but so far we're right on. I haven't checked this one yet. We'll check this beam. So that's pretty good. You can see it could come up just a hair, like not even 1/8 of an inch. Because there's also, you know, imperfections in the boards too. So pretty tough to get it like dead on the entire way. Check right here. So yeah, it came down just a little bit, you know, like 4 feet or so, and that's dead on. So we're probably good. Yeah, it's good. That's all there is to it. You know, I knew the pads were all level with each other already, so as long as I'm flushing up my boards good while I'm nailing them, there's no reason why they shouldn't be level. So it's a good feeling. That's how we want to start out. The floor joist will go really smooth because I can use 16 footers. I'll have to cut them down a little bit because I'll have a rim joist, you know, around the outside, but they'll go the full span, so I won't have any overlapping on the center beam, which is what I usually do. Yeah, this is it. This is all there is to building a simple cabin like this. It's, you know, you're just getting your pads all level with each other, spacing them out. Mine are about 8 feet. So I think what I'll do is I'm just gonna make this a shorter video, put it out during like the middle of the week. Otherwise, I'm gonna do my best to put out a video I'll have one out once a week, but I'm gonna shoot for Fridays. And then once we start really going here, like next video after this one would be the floor joists. I'll insulate the floor and I'll install the subfloor, so I can kind of make that a longer video. And then wall framing, you know, so I'll try to make them longer as we get going, but it just kind of makes sense to do the pads its own video, the beams its own video, then the entire floor its own video, then the wall framing, you know, and just kind of go step by step. That way people can follow along. Right now I'm really happy with how we're sitting. The rest of this should go smooth. Look at this, got some leaves changing a little bit on some of the trees already too, just a few of them. Also, as I'm going here, anytime I do a cabin build, people always want to know the price of it. So after each video, I'll put a total of how much money this has cost so far. Also, if any of you guys that do this kind of thing professionally got any pointers for me, I'd love to hear them, because I always learn stuff from the comments, and I'm just a self-taught cabin builder. You know, I've built a lot of them at this point, but every time I build one, I learn something else, you know, so yeah, any feedback is welcomed, positive or negative. Well, I'm excited to be to this point. We're square, we're level, we're ready for floor joists. So that'll be the next video. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.